Had some brilliant talks today, and I just wanted to bring it all back to the customer because ultimately that's what all of our products go to. Today I'm going to talk about a bit of our customer insight we've got on sustainability. The first is going to be a bit around general sustainability. Then I'm going to match what Mark was talking about and talk a little bit about food waste. Then I'm going to talk a bit about what our customers think about as sustainable products. So briefly, just for anyone who's not from the UK, Asda are the second largest retailer in the UK after Tesco, and we're a wholly owned subsidiary of Walmart. So why do we talk to our customers on sustainability? Retailers do masses of research on what customers think about new products and different things like that, but not necessarily on sustainability. We decided 3 years ago that we wanted to incorporate the customer into everything we did on sustainability. So about our panel, it is a pretty hefty panel. I go as far to say it's the biggest sustainability panel in the world, and no one's told me otherwise, so I'm going to stick with that. We have 20,000 customers on this panel, and we get an average response rate of between 6,000 and 9,000 responses, which is huge for this kind of research. The panel originally started off much smaller, of 6,000 people, and that's grown over the past 3 years to 20,000 people. It's quite a heavy female panel. So 2/3 of the people on our panel are female and a third are male. That should probably be even more female, as it tends to be still in the UK the females that do the shopping. It's split geographically where our stores are, which is great for us, and then we also have a third of customers on there who aren't Asda primary shoppers, so they might never go to an Asda, or they might occasionally pop into an Asda, but they do their main shop somewhere else. So what are the 5 things that customers have told us generally about sustainability? The first is that green's normal to them and they really care about it. So 90% of them tell us they care about sustainability, and 21% say they care very much. Throughout the 3 years we've been tracking this has stayed consistently above 90%, with just a 1 or 2% increase or decrease. But actually, what does that mean when they shop? So customers continue to shop green. Week in, week out, month in, month out, 92% of them tell us that they've bought a green product in the last month. What's really interesting for us is that maybe what we think of the industry as green products, that might be a fair trade, an organic product, or a product that's certified, isn't necessarily what customers think of as a green product. And this is one of the challenges we've had to take back into Asda. For customers, the most important issue for them around fresh produce is locally sourced products. That's quickly followed by fair trade, but then they also are interested in recyclable and reusable packaging. So they think, for example, if you get a cheddar that's got a resealable packaging, or a salad that's got a fold-over resealable packaging, to them that's still a sustainable product. That's not something that's really ever tracked anywhere in the industry. We all just track the typical benchmarks. So that's been a real learning curve for us. Our panel, and Asda customers in general, are a very vocal bunch, like everyone really here in the UK. They talk a lot about being green. 81% of them talk to their friends and family about being green, and 76% of them question where their food comes from. That 3/4 questioning where their food comes from has gone up and down slightly, but it's always stayed that high. And they expect to be much greener in the future. So 78% of them believe that environmental problems are already having an impact on their daily lives, whether that be flooding or the products they buy. And 97% of them, so nearly everyone, are encouraged to do things to improve the sustainability of their lives, everything from recycling to changing the electricity supplier they have, to buying a product that they deem to be sustainable. The real key one for us is that it shouldn't cost more to be sustainable. For them, sustainability is normal. They don't want to be paying a premium for these type of products. And they consider it as the normal thing that you do. Everyone at home turns their light switch off so that they save money. Why wouldn't all businesses be doing sustainability? You're not necessarily going to get a pat on the back for being the most sustainable, but you're definitely going to get a slap on the wrist if you're not sustainable enough. Just got a quick graph up here just to shatter that long illusion myth, which I hate, that only rich people care about sustainability. If we look to the very far end pillar under number 5, that's those that care the very most. You can see the DE and those who are of the other demographic groups, so typically the unemployed, actually care more about being green than some of the other groups, and that tracks throughout the rest of them. So a little bit about food waste, just because it's such a hot topic. 92% of our customers have thrown away food in the last month, and really alarmingly for me, 12% throw away food on a daily basis. People without children are quite virtuous and think that they don't throw away very much food. And men, this is not going to come across well for the men in the room. It's slightly men against this research. Men don't seem to throw away stuff. I think that's because even if they go out to dinner, they might come home and eat what's left in their fridge. The things that are typically wasted are fruit, veg and salad, and the main reasons for these are because they don't use it in time or there's a change of plans. Again, really interestingly, even if men have a change of plans, they seem to go home and still eat the food because they don't think that's the reason they ever waste food. One of the really concerning things for us is that customers underestimate how much food they waste, so they say it's only between 0 and £20 a month, whereas RAP research puts it as much higher. Probably the scariest thing that's come out of my research and scares Asda and all of our suppliers whenever we talk to them about this is 71% of them stopped buying a product because they wasted it. So 11% of them would never buy that product ever again. About 30% of them will buy it less often, so they might buy it every other shop or once a month. And 28% of them will move to a smaller pack size if possible. Again, men don't seem to care here, and if they waste something, they'll just keep buying it week in, week out in their shop. So food waste as an opportunity, our customers have told us that we should be helping them to reduce food waste. So we've done a number of interventions, everything from the typical magazine article right up to a Bag for Life, which we launched this October. Interestingly, as well, as the usual things, so change in packaging and changes in products, which are what are often cited as the main things and probably the most difficult things to help reduce food waste. Customers have actually said to us, we just want better advice on freezing and storing the foods that we buy. All these interventions that we did throughout October are actually measuring with Leeds University, and we're hoping to release the results in January of next year, and we're going to have some real data behind actually, do any of these interventions actually change customers' behaviour? So I've done food waste. My last bit is on products. So 3/4 of our panel say that the green aspect of a product affects them to some extent on whether they'll buy the product, but they still track well lower than quality and price. But interestingly, country of origin, so local sourcing, comes higher than any other category below that. So it comes higher than promotions, it comes higher than brand loyalty, which is really interesting and probably only relates to fresh produce rather than the other categories. There's a lot of confusion among customers. One of my favourite is, so we had this big tick sheet and we asked customers to say for each type of product, what issues do you think they are? And so not tested on animals was on there for typically our health and beauty products and things like that. But lots of customers ticked that they wanted a product not tested on animals in the meat category and in the vegetable category and in the bakery category. So there's still a bit of confusion there on actually what these terms mean, even the really well-known ones like not tested on animals. And unfortunately, or fortunately I suppose where you sit, if you are in the GM type of categories, so clothing, home, garden, timber, DIY products, customers actually really don't care about sustainability in those areas. The majority, 60+% of them in each of those categories, say sustainability concerns aren't an issue. So just to finish up so you can all get home nice and early, what does this mean for us as an industry? People care and really have strong opinions, so we shouldn't be underestimating that. But there's a lot of confusion out there on what all these different labels, schemes and things that customers are doing mean. So we need to be aware that what we're doing needs to be easy to communicate. Also, we might not necessarily, as the experts, have the right definition of what a sustainable product is. We really need to go back to thinking about what customers think of as a sustainable product. This really isn't a fad or a trend, and it's going to be here going forward. But customers, as I mentioned before, aren't necessarily going to give us a pat on the back for being green, but we will sure as hell know about it if they're not happy with us. That's everything. Thank you.